Hi, welcome back. The time's 6:15. The time to check your weather here with meteorologist Thomas Geboy. You know, Thomas, I also think it's time to call in sick to work with the snow flu.
Yeah, it's a bit of a powder day out there because we saw some pretty healthy snow totals just in the overnight hours, but over the last 48 hours, here's a look at several of our resorts with over 30 inches of snow. Solitude right now leading the way at 37 inches, Snowbird and Deer Valley at 35, Sundance at 34, Snow Basin at 33, and during the overnight hours, most of our resorts, especially in northern Utah, picked up over a foot of new snow. So just within the last 12 hours, there have been some healthy totals, but then that only adds to our 48-hour total, which is fantastic to say the least. So plenty of fresh powder up there to enjoy, and the snow is continuing up in our northern Utah mountains, where the view from Snow Basin, you can see kind of the foreground here, but you definitely can't see Mount Ogden just because that snow continues to steadily fall. So adding to that 33 inches of snow we've already seen at Snow Basin, but because we're still seeing all that fresh snow, as wonderful as it is, you just want to avoid the backcountry because the avalanche danger does remain at least considerable. But from the Ogden area down to the Provo area, it does remain high. So stick to the groomers, stick to the inbounds area, plenty of fresh snow to enjoy. You just don't want to mess around with this avalanche risk. I mean, we saw in Provo Canyon yesterday of that slide near Bridal Veil Falls. You don't want to be anywhere near something like that. And the winter weather advisories and the winter storm warnings that were issued a couple of days ago, these continue through 5 o'clock this afternoon. Now, what will happen through today is the chance for wet weather will gradually go down as high pressure begins to build in. But along the Wasatch Front, that winter weather advisory that was issued last night has since been canceled, but we're still looking at times of wet weather, mainly in the northern half of the state, thanks to a northwesterly flow. We've seen times of rain and snow along the Wasatch Front, seeing a little bit more in the way of snow right now with those temperatures that have cooled off just a little bit more. Meanwhile, isolated activity in the eastern portion of the state. But as you look on the storm tracker radar currently along the Wasatch Front, likely seeing times of snow from Draper up through around Ogden and the eastern portion of Box Elder County. Logan is seeing times of snow, but as you make your way from Lehigh down towards Spanish Fork, got a little bit more in the way of a wintry mix, and also seeing times of straight rain as well closer to Utah Lake. As quickly as you get up into the benches, though, and then our canyons, that transitions over to times of straight snow. So be careful out on the roadways as you get into the higher elevations. It could get slushy rather quickly. Then in eastern Utah, wet weather coming to an end around Moab, but we're still seeing isolated snow in the Uinta Basin and over towards the Tavaputs as well, especially over into the western portions of Colorado. Here's the view from Moab with Red Cliffs Lodge. And Moab saw times of rain and snow, a little bit more rain down around the Colorado River, but up towards the cliffs likely saw times of snow. Meanwhile, as we make our way back into northern Utah along the Wasatch Front, this is the view from Lehigh, and definitely a dusting on those grassy surfaces. The roadways looking okay down to our valley floors, but they are running slick because we have seen times of rain and snow. Be careful for that morning commute. We're sitting at 35 in Logan, 32 in Heber City, 36 in Salt Lake, and 36 in Provo. And we're sitting at 38 degrees in St. George. So those temperatures on the chilly side this morning. And as we go from this morning into the afternoon, those temperatures not going to warm up as much compared to yesterday, thanks to that northwesterly flow. But along the Wasatch Front, holding on to a chance of rain and snow through around 10, 11 o'clock this morning. Then our skies will gradually begin to clear with that high pressure beginning to build in, and those daytime highs climbing to the upper 30s and low 40s along the Wasatch Front. We'll see high of 38 degrees in Cedar City, 50 degrees in St. George, and I think in southwestern Utah especially, we could actually get a good amount of sunshine by this afternoon. But as we begin the futurecast through the next several hours, keeping that chance mainly in northern Utah, but this afternoon will bring those gradually clearing skies. I do think that will hold on to the chance for snow in the higher terrain even into the early stretch of the afternoon, but with that high pressure building in a little bit later on. Most of that wet weather comes to an end by the time we get into tonight. Maybe a little bit of moisture in northeast Nevada during the overnight hours, but for the most part, we'll be getting calmer skies to round out the work week and move into the beginning of the weekend, all ahead of more moisture coming our way by the end of the weekend into early next week. So St. George will see the return chance of rain Sunday into Monday, with those daytime highs going back down into the 40s after getting a spell of 50s. Meanwhile, on the Wasatch Front, chance of rain and snow early. Then we'll be looking at daytime highs in the mid 40s with dry skies Thursday, Friday into Saturday. Then the chance of rain and snow returns Sunday, Monday into Tuesday.